Greetings and welcome to our daily Devo for Thursday, November the 2nd. Little taste of snow flurries flying through the air yesterday. I was glad to see them stop and the sunshine come out. Today's devotion is entitled Jesus, the Good Shepherd from John chapter 10, where he talks a lot about what it is to be a shepherd and different things that really point directly to sheep and shepherd. And it's a great passage. It contains one of the I am statements that Jesus makes, that John records Jesus is making in his gospel record. I am the good shepherd, John 10:11. I am the good shepherd. This heartwarming pastoral picture of Jesus erupted out of a heated exchange between Jesus and the Pharisees, who claimed pride of place as the leaders of God's people. Jesus paints a picture that says otherwise. The words Jesus used to paint this picture come to life in rural areas of Israel to this day. In the morning, the shepherd calls to the family flock and leads them into open country where the sheep and the goats enjoy access to food and water. Because the pasture lands increase the risk posed by predators, the shepherd keeps a watchful eye out for trouble. And at the close of the day, when darkness further advantages those predators, the shepherd leads the livestock into a secure sheepfold, a modified Judean cave or pen constructed of fieldstone walls. In his conversation with the Pharisees, Jesus contrasts his style of shepherding with those who have a different relationship to the flock: thieves, strangers, and unmotivated hired hands. Jesus approaches the flock like a good shepherd who always uses the expected entry to the sheepfold, the gate. Only those with improper motives tried to enter, quote unquote, by some other way. The second difference had to do with recognition. The flock recognized and responded to the voice of the shepherd because its tone and timbre were familiar. The shepherd knew the personality quirks of each member of the flock and gave each of them names. Strangers and thieves did not have this kind of intimate relationship with the flock. The third area had to do with protection. The good shepherd would recline in the entry of the sheepfold until it was time to travel to the food and water sources that sustained the life of the flock. He or she was the quote-unquote gate that secured access and offered protection. When in open country, the shepherd was quick to put her or his life on the line when a wolf attacked. The hired hand ran the other way when danger threatened. And finally, the good shepherd had a vision for expanding the size of the flock. For the hired worker, more sheep meant more work, and so there was no passion to expand the flock. But Jesus was anxious for the flock to grow. In verse 16, he says, I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. In many ways, the Pharisees had failed in their role as leaders. Jesus bested them all because he offered superior leadership. That makes him the Good Shepherd. And he will call himself that. I am the Good Shepherd. And the Good Shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. It's quite a passage. It's a powerful passage. Again, it's in a culture where all of the imagery that Jesus knew or used, they knew. They'd seen it in action. Some of them were shepherds. Their most popular and favorite King David had been a shepherd before he had become a king. And remember when he goes out to do battle with Goliath, and Saul, the king, doesn't think David's up to it. He says, hey, I've fought with bears and lions, so I've had to protect my sheep. And the fact that he would risk his life to do that is really an analogy, as Jesus uses it, they would understand. If that shepherd goes out to do battle with a lion or goes out to do battle with a bear or whatever, he's the real thing. He's not running away. He's not looking to hide anywhere. He will give his life up if he needs to. Now, that would leave the sheep in a bad spot. But in Jesus' case, the fact that he will give up his life for us puts us in the best spot possible, because he is just taking care of the enemy that would devour us, would kill, steal, and destroy in our lives. He came to give us life, and to give us life abundantly. He is a great shepherd. And he says, my sheep, they know my name. They know my name. The good shepherd knows every one of them, and they know his name. And the reason that's significant is this. They would not be, a shepherd's flock of sheep may not be in a pen or a cave or whatever all by themselves. There might be multiple shepherds who have come there for the night to put their sheep there to protect them. But in the morning, when it's time to go, a shepherd would call his sheep, and it'd be his voice they'd recognize. No other shepherd, they wouldn't respond to any other shepherd, just the right one. And that's important for us as well. A lot of voices in the world today, a lot of voices in the church today. We need to make sure that we recognize Jesus' voice to us. We know that from being in the Word. We know that from walking with him, by listening for his voice in our lives. And we begin to know it. We begin to know whether that idea that just popped into our head, if that was from Jesus or not. Because we know him and we know his word. Or as John would put it, test the spirits. Test the spirits to see if they are of God or not. Blessings to you today. Have ears that hear what Jesus the shepherd calls to you today and every day.